Hello everyone, Archana is here. Welcome to the 14th session of Presentation in English. Today, let us deal with the prose I Believe That Books Will Never Disappear by Jorge Luis Borges. About the author, Jorge Luis Borges was an Argentine short story writer, an essayist, a poet, and a translator from Buenos Aires. His famous works include varied concepts like dreams, libraries, mirrors, philosophy, religion, and God. I believe that the books will never disappear is a part of excerpts from 24 conversations with Boris. Interviews of Jorge Luis Borges by Roberto Alifano. A highly talented poet became blind completely at the age of 55. However, his spirit in life and literature never diminished. He took his challenge as an opportunity to excel and proved that one's determination in life enables one to realize one's dreams. In this interview, Roberto Alifano unravels Obore's personality. So, in this interview, Alifano unravels Bore's personality, his passion for life and literature. In this interview, Boris shares his views on the importance of books in the era of globalized electronic communication. Incidentally, Boris shares his views or observations about a few other topics like poetry, metaphors, and literature as well, besides expressing his feelings about his mother and his blindness. Alifano, the interviewer, asks questions about each of the topics mentioned above, and Boris expresses his views in response to them. As Alifano, the person who interviewed Boris, knew well the areas of his interest, he asked questions pertaining to the same. Alifano wanted to know the first great literary work that Boris had studied. The interview begins with the first question. What was your first literary reading? In reply, Boris tells him that the first literary work that he read was Grimm's Fairy Tales in the English version. Then Boris tells his interviewer that he learnt more from his father's library than by high school or the university. As an answer to it, Boris explains his father's library as he felt that the collection of books was so huge that he could gain a comprehensive knowledge of various subjects. Alifano then asks Boris to speak about his mother, Donna Leonor. Boris tells him that his mother was an extraordinary person who showed him a great deal of kindness in his life. Boris appears to be very emotional when he describes his mother. Then he continues, telling the interviewer in a confessional tone that he feels guilty for not having been a happy man in order to have given his mother the happiness she deserved. He also feels that he should have shown a better understanding of his mother. Then he generalizes the issue, stating that it is true of all children that when their mothers die, children feel that they had taken them for granted while she was alive, like they do with the moon or the sun or the seasons, and feel that they have abused their mothers. However, this truth does not dawn on such children before the death of their mother. Then Boris adds that his mother was an intelligent and a gracious woman who had no enemies. He recollects how she had been so huffed. On the other hand, he could not reciprocate that affection, and a sense of guilt buried in him explodes during this conversation. As a general observation, he tells that all children are bound to take their mother for granted and will realize her importance when she is no more with them. Then Alifano asks Boris apologetically what blindness meant to him. Boris, in reply, tells him that blindness is a way of life, not entirely unhappy. He adds that as a writer, he generally believes that all persons must think that whatever happens to him or to her is a resource. He believes that all things have been given us for a purpose, and an artist must feel that more intensely. Boris is of the opinion that all that happens to us, including humiliations, misfortunes, and our embarrassments, are given to us as raw material, as clay, so that we may shape our art. When asked about blindness, he modestly admits that initially it was quite difficult for him because he had reached a completely unknown world, and many a times he had to suffer embarrassment and humiliation. The entire episode is viewed in a philosophical way when he tells people that all such negative aspects are given as a raw material, and only a few of them can transmit them and convert their miserable condition into an accomplishment. Alifeno endorses Borges' idea, quoting from Homer's The Odyssey. The lines quoted by Alifano are taken from this poem, in which the poet tells the reader that it is the gods who make man's life tragic so as to weave a song for future generations to sing. This idea is based on the belief that men write songs in order to soothe the mind when they recall their vows. After listening to Alifano's quote from the Odyssey, Borges adds a little more to highlight the same idea of man's life being troubled by many undesirable events. Borges tells Alifano that in one of his poems he has said that humiliation, misfortune, and discord were given to us that we may change them and, using our miserable circumstances, create works which last forever. Then he quotes from Goethe, all that is near becomes far. Here again, Boris is referring to the loss of his eyesight. In the line quoted here, Goethe is referring to the evening twilight when the things closest to us seem to move away from our eyes. Boris is quoting this line to tell Alifano that the visible world has moved away from his eyes forever. Boris then adds that his eyesight has been replaced by many other things. Then he tells Alifano that it is his duty to accept blindness and still enjoy it as far as possible. Therefore, he tells Alifano that he still continues to pretend that he is not blind and buys books to fill his house with the books. He further feels that he has to enjoy that period of strife and should also pretend that he is not blind, and that is the main reason he bought books and filled his library with them. Alifano, hearing him mention books, asks Boris to speak about the theme of books. In reply, Boris tells Alifano that he had a very strange dream in which he had seen the library of Alexandria burning, its countless volumes attacked by flames. Then he asks Alifano whether he believes that his dream has any meaning. Alifano replies that it may have some meaning, but then continues his interview asking Boris whether he has ever thought of writing a book on the history of the book. Boris tells him that he won't be able to write such a book, though it is an excellent idea. He wonders whether an 83-year-old man can set such a project for himself. Incidentally, Boris tells him that he will keep it in his mind. Then Boris tells Alifano that Spengler has already made an effort in this regard in his Decline of the West, trying to interpret a dream in a way Boris did or does is quite unique because at the age of 83, a blind man is ready to take up a challenge of trying to write a book on the history of books is not every man's outlook. In this book, Spengler has made a remarkable comment on books. Then Alfano refers to Boris' comments in one of his essays about the words of Bernard Shaw, in which he has declared every book worth being reread has been written by the Spirit. Boris agrees with him and tells him that a book goes beyond its author's intention, which may not be right. Boris declares that in every book there is a need for something more, which is not easy to understand. Then he gives the example of an ancient book. He tells Alifano that when one reads an ancient book, one feels as though he or she was reading about all the time that has passed from the day it was written to his present day. Boris concludes saying that a book always retains something sacred, something mortal, something magical which brings happiness. Then Alfano asks Boris to define poetry. In reply, Boris says that poetry is something to intimate and so essential that it cannot be defined without being oversimplified. If one attempts to define poetry, it would be like attempting to define the color yellow or love and the fall of the leaves in autumn. Boris then states that poetry is not the poem, but it is the aesthetic act. It is the aesthetic act, the poetic act that takes place when the poet writes it, when the reader reads it, and it always happens in a different manner. Then he adds that says that when the poetic act takes place, we become aware of it. He then concludes declaring that poetry is a magical, mysterious, and unexplainable, although not an incomprehensible event. Trying to explain the nature of a book or piece of literature, he explains the same keeping the reader in mind. When a poet has created something and he fails to make the reader understand, then the entire process of creation is a futile attempt. Poetry is a magical, mysterious, and unexplainable event, but it is not something that cannot be comprehended, cannot be understood without the involvement of the reader. He feels that the poet should be deemed to have failed if one does not feel the poetic event upon reading it. Alfano then adds, telling Boris that the important thing in the art of poetry is finding the precise words. Boris agrees with him. He then states that precise words elicit the emotion. He quotes the line, "This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies," from Emily Dickinson's poem to illustrate his statement. Quoting Emily Dickinson, "This quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies." He explains how the inclusion of two words, gentlemen and ladies, in the place of men and women creates magic and enhances the poetic quality. Further, he speaks about metaphors and why they are very important and an integral part of literature. Alifano then asks Boris to explain the concept of metaphors. Boris tells him in reply that true metaphors have been there in existence since the beginning of time. Then he tells him that he has occasionally thought of reducing all metaphors to 5 or 6 essential metaphors, which is mentioned in the textbook. Boris is of the opinion that these essential metaphors are found in all literature apart from many others which are whimsical. Boris then tells him that the poet has to discover metaphors even though they may already exist. Finally, Alifano asks Boris to comment on the statement, "Modern developments in communications will replace books with something more dynamic that will require less time than reading." Boris tells him that books will never disappear. He declares that among the many inventions of man, the book is undoubtedly the most astounding, and all the others are only extensions of our bodies. He opines that the telephone is the extension of our voice. The telescope and the microscope are extensions of our sight, and the sword and the plough are extensions of our arms. He asserts that only the book is an extension of our imagination and memory. Boris is very confident that never ever in the future books could or would be replaced by something else, and the reason he quotes should be agreeable to everyone. He argues in a scientific way and feels that the other inventions of man are just an extension of the physical body. The telephone, an extension of our voice, telescope and microscope, extensions of sight, sword and plough, the extension of our hands, but it is only the book which is the extension of imagination and memory, both abstract concepts which are not dependent on any external object. Then Alifano asks Boris his reactions to his own statement. Literature is a dream. Boris assertively tells him that it is true. He restates his statement. Literature is a dream and says that it is a controlled dream. Then he says that it is his belief that we owe literature almost everything we are, what we have been, and also what we will be. And ends saying, our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. He concludes, remarking that there can be no difference between dreaming and remembering the past. Then he declares, books are the great memory of all centuries and their function is irreplaceable. If books disappear, history will disappear, and surely the man would disappear. Literature is a controlled dream, and books are supposed to be the memories of all centuries, therefore, irreplaceable, and that is the main reason if books disappear, history would disappear. Indirectly, he gives a hint that man will also disappear. So, here we have winded up the prose. Let us conclude the prose. I believe that the books will never disappear. The prose is a part of excerpts from 24 conversations with Boris, interviews of Boris by Roberto Alifano. Boris is an Argentine short story writer, essayist, poet, and translator. Here he talks about his early years of reading, his family, his blindness, books, poetry, metaphors, and literature. His first reading and about his mother. Boris proudly says that he was educated at his father's library where he first read Grimm's fairy tales. His mother, according to him, was an extraordinary person, but he regrets having not been understanding of her. Besides, his mother was an intelligent and a gracious woman. About blindness. Blindness to Boris is a way of life. He calls it a resource and that all things have been given to us for a purpose. Humiliations, our misfortunes, our embarrassments are given to us as raw materials so that we may shape our art. On reading books, Boris says that he still buys books. In every book, he finds a need for something more. A book can be full of errors, but the book always retains something sacred, something mortal, something magical, which brings happiness. About poetry, he believes that poetry is something so intimate, so essential that it cannot be defined without oversimplifying it. Poetry is the aesthetic act. It is the poetic act that takes place when the poet writes it and the reader reads it. Poetry is a magical, mysterious, and inexplicable event. About metaphors, metaphors exist from the beginning of time. He seems to reduce all metaphors to five or six, which are essential metaphors. They are time and river, life and dreams, death and sleep, stars and eyes, flowers and women. Once again, I am going to repeat the metaphors, six, five to six metaphors, which is mentioned in the textbook. They are time and river, life and dreams, death and sleep, stars and eyes, flowers and women. On disappearance of books, Boris believes that modern developments in communications can not replace books and that the books will never disappear. He says that book is the most astounding of many human inventions. All the others are extensions of our body. Only the book is an extension of our imagination and memory. About literature, he says that literature is a dream, a controlled dream. Our past is a sequence of dreams. Books are the great memory of all centuries. He concludes that if books disappear, surely history would disappear and surely man would disappear. Here, I would like to mention two important concepts of the prose. First one is poetry is magical, mysterious, and unexplainable. The second one is about the literature. So, how does Boris explain the strange aspect of poetry? Morris views poetry as something intimate and very essential. According to him, it is the aesthetic act. Poetry is the poetic act that takes place when the poet writes it and the reader reads it. It always happens in a slightly different manner. When the poetic act takes place, we become aware of it. He says that poetry is magical, mysterious, and unexplainable. If one doesn't feel the poetic event upon reading it, then the poet has failed. Boris quotes Emily Dickinson, the finest American poet who brought these emotions precisely in her poetry. In one of her poems, she writes about death. The line goes in this way: this quiet dust was gentlemen and ladies. So this create such a poetic magic. This line create such a poetic magic that the reader is arrested by the effect. There are great poets who continue to recreate this magic with their selection of precise words. One of the most distinguished poets of Kannada, Kuempu, Rashtrakavi Kuempu, creates heaven on earth. His words are magical. For example, when a bevy of birds flies overhead in the vast expanse of the sky, the poet describes it as the god's signature. I would like to quote this in the same language, that is in Kannada language, or how the poet has written. Devaru ruju madihanu. This is how the best poetry comes with magic and imagination with precise language. The next concept is that about the literature, value of literature, why it is important for the future of mankind. Literature, as Boris views, is a dream, a controlled dream. He owes literature almost everything we are and what we have been and what we will be. Our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. He says that books are the great memory of all centuries. Their function is irreplaceable. If books disappear, history would disappear and man would disappear. Literature is the treasure house of mankind's glorious past. When we read an ancient book, it is as if we were reading all about the time that has passed since the day it was written to the present day. Literature is something sacred, something mortal, and something magical which brings happiness. Literature reflects the past life and leads mankind to live better. Literature is important for it is an extension of our imagination and memory. Every human society preserves its rich history of literature as it guides generations to create a much better civilization. Home assignment. Answer the following questions in a paragraph about 200 words. First question: why does Boris feel remorseful after his mother's death regarding his relationship with her? Can this experience be generalized? Second question: poetry is magical, mysterious, and unexplainable. How does Boris explain the strange aspect of poetry? Thank you all.